minute, 5:43 on Chicago Sports Radio, 670 The Score. My two favorite words in show business.
Lot of Holmes.
With what they had to say?
The fact that they were doing it then.
Their news dump.
And one of the all-timers on the third Comcast channel with the national media bifurcated at separate major events.
And the local media at separate
that's an
major events.
An all-timer. And it was the content of it as well, with Cowley sitting there just giving them business
down there.
I thought Haw had it right today when he called it corporate cowardice. That's what it was last night. And whenever they talk about all of these grand ideas, the concept of change and accountability, but when the questions come to how are you accountable, John? How are you accountable, Gar? There is no answer for that question. That's what it is from a business standpoint. And we've seen it before. We've seen the Christmas Eve firings and the press conferences that are like I don't understand why they think that's the way to do business. And one of the things I'm going to go through it, not because they deserve to be heard, but because people deserve to hear what they said. Because it is a level of BS that I think is bold what they tried to throw out there as reasons why Fred is the right guy for the job still, that he's learning. Well, you know what? You put it to us at the beginning of this season that this wasn't a time to learn, that you were still in your championship window. Mm-hmm. So don't give me the substitute teacher who needs to figure out how this whole thing works. I don't trust them to do it. One of the things we'll go through tonight is Gar Forman talking in circles when he was asked a pointed question about the Pau Gasol thing. And it's like, oh, well, we'd rather have the cap space. Is that right? You'd rather have the cap space from letting him leave as a free agent instead of trying to either put yourself in the best position to be a playoff team or to get rid of him and get him out of your locker room. They're choosing that they would rather have the cap space, and that's fine. But what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it?
Hassan Whiteside.
These dudes have been buying their own BS for a long damn time. When I hear John Paxson talk that mess about how Mike Dunleavy was supposed to be a big part of what we were going to do this year, that means that you did a terrible job of roster building. If you were so dependent on Mike Dunleavy being your white knight on your team, then you don't have enough built in to be a successful basketball team. They are terrible, and there's no other way to say it. I am not going to hold my tongue. John Paxson is a failure, flat out. This dude has been to one Eastern Conference final since he has been in charge of this team. One. He has no plan, and every time he says that he has a plan, how many flipping cores are we going to hear from this dude? It's been 14 years of this mess. He deserves no slack, Dan. None. It's funny, one of the things that Gar said, and I laughed out loud when I heard it, and it's one of the things I'll play tonight, is he was talking about the Powell being traded, the possibility of Powell being traded, and he said, when you hear sources, usually sources have agendas, and I could not stop laughing.
That's him
because
saying that?
That's exactly what he's on for his entire career. What has he done to earn his lofty perch running the Chicago Bulls? What? With John Paxson, you can at least make the argument that he is a favorite of the franchise, but that goodwill should be gone at this point. What in the world has Gar Forman ever done to let you know that he is qualified for this job?
Yeah, I was surprised he was sitting
Not
there.
a damn thing. And they sat up there like a couple of jerks last night with this BS PR move that they made, acting like nobody would know. I'm done. I'm done with it. They're getting called on the carpet forever. Forever. Talk to me about accountability. You have none. You're not accountable to Jack. And what should happen is they should become accountable to the people who are filling that stadium night after night after night, and they don't give a damn about that. I don't care about the way that the hierarchy of the Bulls works. All I know is that dude is the end. He's the alpha and the omega of the Bulls. I don't care what his title says. he can kiss my ass with trying to put up Gar Forman as the guy that's making the decisions. We know what's going on. The dude that grabs the ties is the guy that's in charge.
All right, well, I think it's time to get out of Laurence's way before he kills us all.
I've had my say. I'm going to let them have their say, and I'm going to let Bulls fans have their say.